Pisces season with the dominant phrase, I believe. And I just wanted to say thank you for believing in me, because when I said I would be back, I meant it. But I did have to take a moment for myself, and I hope you did so too, because sometimes we do carry a lot of weight on our shoulders without really realizing it. We've become so accustomed to it, we've become so used to it, but it's not normal. And luckily, we find ourselves in 2025. In numerology, it's a number 9 year. 2 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And together, it symbolizes shedding, a time of letting go. And let's start with that lunar eclipse in Virgo. That lunar eclipse in Virgo is asking all of us, have you been too modest or not modest enough? And where? Because all these astrologers are talking about, okay, if you are a Leo rising, that lunar eclipse happened in your second house. But I may have told you it happens on 23 degrees. Is 23 degrees in Virgo in your second house as a Leo rising? Or is it in your first house of yourself and your identity? It may also be in your third house of basic knowledge and communication. Either way, this upcoming 18 months with the North and the South Node in Virgo and Pisces, it's a time to get more comfortable with analyzing, overthinking our statistics so we can go where we know intuitively, subconsciously that we need to go. Especially as Virgo has that dominant phrase, I analyze. So start analyzing yourself. Start analyzing what you can do, what you can bring, and where you want to go. If you are not being too modest, or if you are being a little bit more modest. Subconsciously, you know exactly where that North Node in Pisces is bringing you, and I didn't want to come between you and your subconscious during this whole lunar eclipse. So, hey, we're almost going back, but this upcoming video, we're talking about the lunar eclipse. We're talking about the ruling planets, because a ruling planet never lies. Like, those degrees never lie, but you don't know. But you do know, like, this is my rising sign or it isn't, right? But we talked about that in part 3, the houses video, so check that if you haven't yet. Either way, we'll talk about the lunar eclipse, ruling planets, solar eclipse. That's a lie. I'm not going to talk about the solar eclipse right now because I'm still hibernating. But in like 3 days, happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. In 3 days, it's 20th of March. It's the spring equinox. And then I'm going out. I've done my hair. I fixed everything. Like, I broke the camera. I was busy the whole day. Either way, you don't care. Let's just continue because I've worked ahead of myself, but didn't really take the time to get ahead myself. This is something I've been struggling with for the past year and a half, especially as I had that song on repeat in my head, Stressed by Doechii. But I didn't want to listen to it. I didn't want to sing it. I didn't want to claim it. So I was suppressing it somewhere away in my subconscious. But now really is a time to face those things that you suppressed away in your subconscious, especially with that North Node in Pisces. Pisces is that subconscious, the things we suppress, the hidden. So I'm just giving you a heads up. Either way, you cannot ignore your problems away. What is it that you're overthinking about? What is coming up in your head the whole time? Calm down the overthinking and reduce the anxiety by allowing yourself to come out modestly. So some people like pay for therapy. Some people have the right people around them that they can talk with. Seek and just breadcrumb, modest approach until you can give the whole loaf. Because in this axis of the North Node and South Node, it's always on the axis, right? Always in a direct opposition with each other. We find ourselves in the axis of service. Your earthly service to yourself, your habits, your routines, the stuff that you can do here and now for yourself and for others. And it's also those the spiritual, the earthly habits and the spiritual habits for your higher self, for your community, and it's more spirituality. Sagittarius is religion, spirituality, religious leader, as Sagittarius, higher knowledge leading. Spirituality, unity consciousness, we're coming together as a puzzle. But you cannot have a whole puzzle if you yourself are not complete. If you're missing a limb, the puzzle isn't complete. So fix yourself first, but we're going to talk about it. in these two extremes, because Virgo, very responsible, very discriminating in the sense like, okay, you can have sugar, but not too much. Like very discriminating, and seek in which house that is for you. But sometimes also deserves to get white girl wasted. Sometimes also deserves to just get a sugar rush or something. Just let go, let loose. But where can you do that? When you're surrounded by the right people who can also take the wheel for you, which is quite nice sometimes, not having to think. Being surrounded by people who you have to think with constantly is tiring. But on the other side of the axis, we also have Pisces, ruled by Neptune. And Neptune is all about that pollution and haze and white girl wasted. Intoxication, losing grip of reality, Hollywood. But Pisces, so very imaginative, very spiritual, very free-spirited. But sometimes has to put the tarot cards down, has to get the head out of the clouds, stop looking at astrology and face the world of reality with a rational approach. Because we're done with the shitty lives. But at the end of the last life, I was talking about the cervical cancer shot I got like 14 years ago, 16 years ago, right? And yeah, in the time span of 14 to 16 years, a lot has happened. Like Kat Von D is like, oh no, I don't want to give my naked cat shot, so my children aren't getting shots too. 2020 happened, internet, social media, everyone has an opinion. So sometimes you do get a little bit anxious when you have to make a choice, have to like join the majority and say, okay, for the bevolkingsonderzoek. Bevolkingsonderzoek. Well, sometimes, I don't even know if you have that outside of Europe, but how do they got it? So you got a shot like when you're 14 years old, and when you're 30, you get this invite like, hey, we want to do a checkup and stuff. And sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to do a checkup because all of these things happen. You're overthinking and brings you anxiety and stuff. But eventually, get your head out of the clouds. Be a little bit more rational. It's already in you. So it's already in you. Like 14 years ago, 16 years ago. So what's the worst that can happen right now? Long story short, sometimes you have to be a little bit more rational, and sometimes you have to be a little less rational. Those extremes again, because in the screenshots of all the signs, I have those plus signs, the positive traits, and those minus signs, the less positive traits. All in moderation. Just remember that for the upcoming 18 months. So we're ending 2024, and all these pseudosciences are kind of like correlating with each other, because 2024 was the year of the dragon. It was a number 8 year, 2 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. And it all symbolizes like strength, good fortune, ambition. Haven't you found good fortune and strength and ambition with the North Node, South Node in the axis of relationship of yourself and yourself in other relationships? I hope so, as we're entering 2025, the year of the snake, a number 9 year. It's all about being more intuitive. It's all about being more being more strategic and creative. Creative and strategic. Remember, we have Saturn in Pisces. So even though the government may be a little bit more creative with your approach, with your strategy. I think the lunar eclipse is actually entering 2025, and that solar eclipse in Aries is exiting 2024, because we have a solar eclipse in Aries exiting that North Node, South Node in that axis again. It will be occurring on 8 degrees and 59 minutes, so like 2 seconds later be on 9 degrees. 8 degrees is the Scorpio degree, 9 degree is the Capricorn degree, is the Sagittarius degree. So just saying, but it's a year that we're going to be a lot more courageous, especially as Neptune is entering Aries, but I'm not going to talk about it too much because Neptune will be exiting Aries again, but we'll talk about it with all these signs. I'm not going to make it too long because I've got like 3 sentences for all these signs, except for Pisces. But first, like I promised, the lunar eclipse happened on 23 degrees. 23 degrees is the Aquarius degree. Aquarius may be a little bit emotionally detached, right? But it's also very humanitarian, very altruistic. It's all about the friendships and the community. Because yes, they may be a little bit emotionally detached from you. Are you in the group? Are you in the tribe? Are you what's relevant to them? Are you what's on their mind? Probably not. And don't worry about it. Worry about things that you have to worry about. Your community, your people, your tribe, your friends. Where are you going? What are your aspirations? 23 degrees and a lunar eclipse is a time to get back on track with a new perspective. So we have new information, we have new insight, we have these new ideas we can get fixating on, like the fixed air sign of Aquarius. But get back on the right path with this new perspective. You can only act on the information that you have right now. You couldn't do it 2 years ago, but 2 years ago probably wasn't the right time to do whatever it is that you want to do or know that you want to do. So go easy on yourself, especially with this lunar eclipse. Keep yourself hydrated. Surrender control so you can rest and reflect. Remember, South Node, that comfort zone that we need to take our lessons out of so we can approach our blessings. That comfort zone in Virgo with the dominant phrase, I analyze. Analyze, take the time to go deeper in you, investigate you. Zobo, if you know, you know. Either way, eat well, sleep well, journal. Virgo, ruler of the 6th house, so kind of like the same themes. Virgo rules health. It's not just physical health, it's also mental health, spiritual health, economical health, emotional health, all of the health. Are you healthy? I had to work on my mental health. I had to take a mental health winter hibernation. I've been on this world for 30 years. I'm glad I know myself. Do you know yourself? Work on your health. It's also about routines, those habits. Identify and weed out accordingly, because it's a mutable, we're going to talk about that, but it's a mutable earth sign. So is it working for you? Take it. If it's not working for you, leave it. Weed it out. What can go, what cannot go. Remember this at the end of summer, beginning of autumn. What can you go, what is not taking too much strength of you to say, okay, it's getting darker, it's getting colder, but this is something I can. I don't know if you're hearing background music, but I have a visitor. And yeah, sometimes you just need to be a little more flexible. So I hope you don't mind. As Virgo is also about being of service, not just of service to others, not just how you can help others, but how you can also help yourself. Which cups of yours are overflowing that you can give others? I'm not going to tell you what it's made of, but it's very good for you. A lot of antioxidants and stuff, but I made it myself. And I made like 4 liters. And I got like the spring water and stuff for it. And I had to give it away, so I made another 4 liters. And I was in the mood, so I made another 4 liters. So in total, I made like 12 of these. Because I can give. My cup, they overflow. It would be very stingy and very low of me if I said, no, you can't have it. You can make it yourself. Like I just said the name, either way. What can I not give? My time? I should stop that. But everything in its time. And this actually helped me grow, isn't it? Allow yourself to grow, rest and surrender. As we're going into the signs. And this is actually for the whole upcoming year. We're talking about your ruling planet. So if you are a Aries rising, this lunar eclipse occurred for you in your 6th house of work and service. Virgo house. And your ruling planet, Mars, just came out of its retrograde in February, right? So for the upcoming 2 years, well, 25 months to be exact, it's not going retrograde anymore. So it's not going to be hard to feel motivated. It's not going to be hard to keep your temperament down. It's not going to be hard. Take what you can get with it. Not take what you can get, but doe er je voordeel mee. Let it work into your advantage. As Mars this upcoming year starts in its detriment sign of Cancer, and at the end of the year will be in another water sign of Pisces. So what we can note out of this, water, it's all about your emotions. Do not let others wind you up too much. Oh, what did I write down? It's all about how you feel about it this year. Just because you can adjust does not mean that you have to. Others can adjust to. So Virgo, ruled by Mercury, is also about short travel, right? And yeah, everyone's like, oh, get moving, get moving. And yeah, I don't like to exercise, but I do have this thing. I bought it like 14, 16 years ago. Look, like it's all gone. But I was riding on it again the last week. My legs hurt AF, but it's a way to get moving. It's a way to, yeah, get exercise, to do what you need to do. It's different though, but that doesn't matter. It works for you. And other people can also adjust to you. And if you need to adjust like in some kind of way that's weird to others, maybe inspiring to some, weird to others, maybe cringe, but it's liberating to you. So let others adjust too. Hello, mama! Taurus rising, this lunar eclipse happens in your 5th house, the 5th house of creativity and romance. Your ruling planet, Venus, is currently moving retrograde. Well, in Aries still. Oh, in Aries still, but will be moving back into Pisces. So in Aries, it's in its detriment. In Pisces, it's exalted. I don't remember in which video I read the part by Dima. I'm going to look it up again. But remember those exalted and detriment placements, and also kind of like the fallen placements. It's like seeing a planet in higher or lower regards than it is. So Venus in Aries, detriment, always thinking about yourself. Like I just said, if you don't think about you, who else gonna do? Going retrograde in Pisces, exalted. So Pisces is like, oh, there's enough for everyone. But remember why Mercury is in its detriment in Pisces, because not everyone can come. So you have to think about it too. Venus is all about the value. For Taurus, it's material value. For Libra, the other sign which Venus rules, it's about the relational value. Either way, yeah, think about it. Not everyone can come. Spreading yourself thin isn't helping anyone. To be and give 100% pure, uncut you need to be selfish every once in a while. Yes, you have. Yes, you have a lot. But maybe you need a lot. So your cup no de overflow. Stop sharing. Stop trying to be of service to others. You need some too. In your subconscious, you know. With this lunar eclipse happening in your 5th house. 5th house, Leo house, very generous. Stop being generous. You don't have it. Or you do. Gemini rising. Excuse me, Gemini rising. This lunar eclipse happened for you in your 1st house. Let's talk about it, because you're also a mutable sign. So this lunar eclipse is a mutable square to you. Change things. As your ruling planet, Mercury, will be moving retrograde from its detriment placement of Virgo, of Pisces, at the beginning of the astrological year, back to retrograde in its detriment sign of Pisces. So not everyone can go, yes, but some people need to go. So don't be too hard. Don't be too hard on yourself. As Pisces is also like four houses away. So your legacy, your public house, your career and stuff. Again, have you been too modest or not modest enough? And where are these houses for you, Gemini rising? Oh. This snake here is the year that you'll be shedding the Gemini slander, but you have to work, but you have to walk how you talk. Yep. But can you make it true too? Yeah, that's it for now. Cancer, you know I love you. The 3rd house, the lunar eclipse will be happening in your 3rd house of basic knowledge and communication. And how am I going to be talking about where the moon is going to be at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year? No one cares. But we'll have all these mutable eclipses. The moon wobble will be occurring in the mutable seasons. I checked it out. In Gemini season, it's the 19th of June. I didn't check it out for Sagittarius season, or else I'd remember it. What? mutable moon wobbles. So change, be a little bit more flexible. And your cardinal sign, initiate, do something. Well, cardinal rising sign, initiate, do something. But yeah, it doesn't really like change too. Be prepared. Early birds catch the worms. Be the change you want to see in the world. See who you can be. There is so much hidden in that shell of yours. Do you even want to be? Do you even want to let it out? So listen to Libra in a bit. As we're going off to the Leo risings. Leo rising, this lunar eclipse happened in your second house or third house, or remember? But mutable eclipses, mutable. Only that solar eclipse will be in a cardinal sign. So that cardinal, what are you going to do? Where do you want to be? To be honest, I'm still a Leo sun, right? And mentally, I'm already with the South Node in Leo because I'm thinking I have to be a little bit more modest. You know me, right? I'm like, but I have to be a little bit more modest or know where. Remember that we talked about it the last whole year, but where I can be Shmoane and where I should be Sharon. We have mutable eclipses. A solar eclipse is cardinal, and we have 2 Virgo new moons, just so you know. But that second Virgo new moon will be happening on the last day of Virgo season, and it will be happening on 28. Well, the solar eclipse will be happening on 28 degrees, and then like 2, 3, 4 minutes later, we have that full moon on 29 degrees. 29 degrees, the Leo degree. It's all about who you are. Analyze, tune in, tune out. We talked about this. Yeah, prepping for the South Node in Leo. It's a year of shedding. We really need to let things go. And all these things are actually for the sun, moon, rising, right? So we need to be letting things go. I'm with you. Let's go to the Virgo. This lunar eclipse will be happening in your first house if 23 degrees is in your first house, because I can imagine it may be in your second house or even in your 12th house. But your ruling planet, just like Gemini, will be moving at the beginning of the astrological year. So in 3 days, it will be moving retrograde in Pisces, and at the end of the whatever, it will be retrograde in Pisces. But listen, I got this. Fire retrograde going back into water, except for the Leo retrograde, because duh. Allow your modesty to take the back seat by letting the right people lead. Virgo, very discriminating. Who are the right people? I don't know who you are. I have Virgo risings around me. I have Virgo suns around me. I have, well, not like around, I know. Check it out. They're all different. Everyone has their own people. Everyone has their own thing. So again, like, see where Virgo, in which house it falls for you. Virgo, sun, moon, Leo, sun, moon, rising, Leo. But fire is about the passion. It's about your energy. Rethink where you're putting your fire, where you're putting your energy. Okay, so this is your 12th house. 4th house. And 8th house of desires. Rethink where you're putting your energy and go back to rethinking how you feel about it emotionally. Except for Leo season. Leo will be full retrograde in Leo. Well, you understand. Okay, let's go to Libra, because I think Cancer is still hanging on for Libra, who has that full moon lunar eclipse in their 12th house, their subconscious. Your ruling planet, just like for Taurus rising, will be moving from Pisces retrograde at the beginning of the year to Aries. Still retrograde? I don't know. Either way, what did I write down? If you don't like it, you can also leave. If you don't like it, you can leave. You can also leave. And it's not an attack. Don't let others take too much care of you. Oh, you should be doing this. Oh, you should be doing that. Oh, you should shut up and let you lead. Like I shut it up so you could lead with your subconscious, right? Right? Do you want to be a mediocre copy, or do you want to be you? So Cancer, this is what I wanted to tell. I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, I never had a right example of how I should be this, so I am a product of. And I'm like, no, you're just being a mediocre copy. And I know that Libra doesn't like to hear this. Do you want to be like a second hand this, that, someone? Nah, you want to be 100% authentically you. So do you. Don't listen to others necessarily. And that too, Cancer. If you want to get out of your shell, get out of your shell. If you don't feel like getting out of your shell, don't get out of your shell. Libra rising, also listen to this as Cancer, maybe in your 10th house of your public life, your legacy, how you present yourself and stuff. If you don't like it, you can also leave. Oh, shoot. See, this is why I need to be modest, because off to the outer planets. Leo, I swear, do not ask me, where is the sun at the beginning of the year and at the end of the astrological year for me? Do not be that stupid, because I will. Thank you. Let's go off to the Scorpio rising. Scorpio risings, this will be happening for you in the lunar eclipse in your 11th house, the whole south node in your 11th house. If 23 degrees in Virgo is in your, okay? But your ruling planet, Pluto, we're not going to talk about that too much because it's still in, it's still in Aquarius. But yeah, moving from 1 degree towards 2 degrees, towards 3 degrees. So the basic degrees, 1 Aries, 2 Taurus, 3 Gemini. Get into the basics of your aspirations. Pardon, excuse me. A good foundation builds a solid home, as this is in your 4th house. Build the right habits according to your vision. What do you see? What are your aspirations? Again, if this is your 11th house, what are your aspirations? If it's in your 12th house, what is your subconscious? What are you overthinking about? If you have Virgo in your 12th house, I am so sorry for you. Remember that sextile? Ooh, let's investigate. Okay, let's continue though. Sagittarius rising, Virgo, lunar eclipse in your 10th house. Cute. Your ruling sign, your ruling planet, Jupiter, is getting out of its detriment sign of Gemini. I hope you learned plenty in that retrograde of 4.5 months, and it will be moving into its exalted sign of Cancer. Remember what I said about exaltation. The sign may see the planet in its highest regards. Oh, I can take care of. Oh, I can take care of. Yes, you can, but they're still not your business. They're still not your child. They're still not your... Okay? So I wrote down, I repeat, keep that focus and make it watertight, resistant to erosion, as Jupiter will shift out of its detriment into its exaltation. Stick to the plan. And I know it may be a little bit annoying. Stick to the plan, stick to the plan. But you kind of have to, because you kind of have to. Remember Uranus in your 6th house of Taurus? Like, I like to have it stable, but a change is coming. Let me just tell you right now, Uranus is moving into Gemini this upcoming year, right? Yay! But it's moving back into Taurus, just so you know. And Gemini may be eventually your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. Just so you know. Don't be impatient. Be prepared. Okay, I repeat, keep that focus and make it watertight, resistant to erosion, as Jupiter will shift out of its detriment into exaltation. Stick to the plan, because we're off to Capricorn risings who have that lunar eclipse in their 9th house. But wait, because now you know your stuff. Can you teach others? We talked about this Capricorn rising with Pluto in your whatever. We talked about your basics. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. You need to get the basics in order. And now you have the basics in order. Now you know your stuff. Can you teach others? Because that's what we taught. Learn how to be more compassionate. Understand how others feel. Your ruling planet, Capricorn rising. Saturn will be moving from Pisces. So Okay, listen up. Saturn, structure, discipline, I know what I'm doing. Pisces, boundaryless, free-spirited, F it, all. And it's moving into its detriment of Aries. I think Aries is worse than Pisces, as Aries is like, oh, I got energy, let's just go. And Saturn is like, you're going the wrong way. Yeah, Saturn hates it in Aries. So it will be shifting back into Pisces and it's retrograde. So like, okay, I need to be a little bit more compassionate. I need to be a little bit more feeling. I need to get a little bit more rational. Okay, I know maybe the government with all these shots, but did you know the measles are coming back? That's what they did. That's what the Pluto and Scorpio generation did. I am between Gen whatever and the millennial. I'm an in-betweener. But those people, they brought the measles back. And now we have to fix it, the in-betweeners. Back into Pisces, back into Aries. Yeah, and then it's fully in its detriment. So, yeah, now you know your stuff. Okay, teach others. People are so unteachable. Let's go to the Aquarius risings. I need to find my Capricorn house, but let's go to the Aquarius rising. This lunar eclipse will be occurring in your 8th house of desires, the things we don't like to talk about. It's not really suppressed, but it's not for everyone. And your ruling planet, Uranus, I just talked about it to the Sagittarius. Its final degrees in its detriment of Taurus will be shifting into Gemini, and everyone's like, yay! Because Gemini is all about social media, being social, media, internet, and Uranus is also about the technology. It's also humanitarian, revolution, evolution, rebel, remember? But it will be shifting back into Taurus, like, what is it actually that we want to rebel about? Well, if I may make a suggestion, 7 years here, 7 years there, 7 years there. So this is 14 years. In those 14 years, I think the people have kind of like taken internet, but what did we do with the internet? Let's say Uranus in Aries. I am evolving. Oh, look at me, I got this, I got that. No, look at me. Then Uranus in Taurus. Oh, I got this, I got that, I got all those influencers and stuff. But now, when Uranus will be entering Gemini, we'll all be talking about what we know. We'll be teaching astrology. We'll be teaching people how to like longboard or whatever. We'll be teaching people our basic skills, our basic knowledge. And luckily, I have a head start of 1.5, 2 years over here. But a lot of people will be starting doing things, will not get it because internet's very saturated, of course. Socials are very saturated. But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. And just for fun, just look at what happened 84 years ago, as Uranus has a cycle of 84 years. But finally, it works and it's fun. But it has to be durable. Will it still be fun to you if it's durable? Aquarius does care, just not for everyone, personally. Who do you know personally? Who would you do it for? Personally. I go deal with you. Who would you do it for? Asking too many questions. I told you I was still hibernating either way. Oh, and I'm still going through my Saturn return. But let's close this thing off with Pisces rising. This lunar eclipse, of course, for you will be happening in your 7th house. Your 7th house of partnerships and relationships. How do people see you? Ooh, Pisces, always so dreamy and so mystical and stuff. But when push comes to shove, oh, I think I wrote that down. When push comes to shove, let me read this thing. It's scary to believe in your own abilities and believe sometimes. That's why everyone loves Pisces so much. All these planets are coming back to Pisces. Just to be a little bit more, I don't have responsibility. Yes, you do. Actually, Actually, but everyone is Pisces so much easygoing, adaptable, and soft. But when push comes to shove, they've learned from the best, of course. Virgo, your opposition. Because remember that 7th house is also the decadent. We have the ascendant and the decadent. The decadent is how others kind of see you. So a lot of Virgos are seeing like Pisces. Oh, you're always yapping about this. You're always yapping about that. Always. Oh, I'm so worried about this. Not worried, but I can fix it. What makes you look worried? A lot of Pisces think about this, that, and the third. Maybe I'm a Pisces rising, right? And people are like, oh, but you're talking about being rational about shots and the measles coming back and all the Shmoane. What are you doing? Are you spiritual or are you just wanting us to be healthy? Both. When push comes to shove, they can be the most rational ones in the room. They've learned from the best, of course, the Virgo. Allow yourself to soar every once in a while. What would you need? A trampoline to soar? Do you need more time to soar? I don't have time. Do you need better weather to go and frolic? Oh, see? Do you need better company? Do you, boo? Your ruling planet, Neptune, will be shifting out of Pisces, so into Aries. I am, I dream, become your dreams, you deserve to, will be shifting back into Pisces because everyone loves Pisces in its retrograde because we need to remember. I think a lot of people don't know how to swindle when push comes to shove with Uranus over there, but oh yeah, back into Pisces, back into Aries again. Yeah, that's where I will be at the end of the year. Yeah. We're soaring, flying. There's not a star in heaven that we can't reach. If we're trying, yeah, we're breaking free, breaking free. Ooh.